What's up, guys? It's a brand new edition of the DC Defender Show on the United Football Media YouTube channel. We got a giant show, big news, Abram, injury, DeMarcus Hayes, interview, and new news that just happened right before we started recording. We got a new running back. I'm with my man, Alex. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing great, man. Can't wait to jump into this one. Talk to DeMarcus. Go Dogs. Hit the music.
All right. Huge news this week. Abram Smith out for the season, torn ACL. Your thoughts?
First and foremost, wish Abram a speedy recovery. Nothing but the best. Very unfortunate. Really hate that this happened to him. If there's any solace, I think that, ACLs and MCLs aren't what they were, 30, 40 years ago. Not to minimize the injury. It's serious, but, it's not the death sentence it once was for a football player. So hope for a speedy recovery. These other guys just have to step up now. We've got some talent in that room with Cameron Harris, Puka Williams, Darius Higgins, the new pickup that we'll talk about here in a little bit as well. But you don't really replace a guy like Abram, right? So it is a big hole. It's no other way to look at it, no other way around it.
So out of the three guys that are still on the roster that are coming back or have spent the entire training camp with the team, which one out of the three do you expect to take the step forward? I know we have the new free agent signing one we'll talk about in a second, but out of those three guys that have been there, which one do you expect to take the big step?
Yeah, Cameron is kind of like, without seeing practice, and we haven't really seen the scrimmage, but just sort of, basing on what we think, I would say he's probably the front runner to take the majority of the carries. We've talked about it a little bit on the show. Puka's a little bit different of a running back. There's certain things that you can do, I think, use him as a weapon. And then, of course, you have, Darius Higgins in there as well, a big back who kind of can help out. But I think this is going to really turn Cameron into the feature back. Like, he's going to be in a position where, he's going to get the brunt of the carries, and a lot's going to be put on his shoulders to step up and take over the job.
I'm shocked you did not say Darius Higgins. I am absolutely shocked that you did not pick a Virginia guy when you had a chance to pick a Virginia guy. You took the U over the Virginia guy or the returning defender. I'm just absolutely stunned. But I think it's Higgins. He's a big back. He's coming out of Virginia State. He's played for Barlow. It's not apples to apples with the language, obviously, from Fred Kice to Barlow, but it's got to be close. It's not apples to pencils. It's still fruit, right? It's apples to oranges at least, but at least it's still fruit. And then we'll go to Zaquandre White. That's going to be my tongue twister of the whole entire year. Your thoughts on adding a pony to the Defenders roster?
Yeah, and a Gamecock on top of that too. So here's a guy
man, as a Clemson fan, we have a Georgia guy coming on, right? And then we just signed a Carolina Gamecock.
That's right.
And then the ponies have all the Tigers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like with Deion Kane and Amari Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? Like, Vaughn, call Dabo, and let's get some talent here, right? No, just kidding. Zaquandre Wright is obviously a very talented running back.
Yep.
He was important with the Stallions until he got banged up. He kind of replaced Bo Scarborough last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he is a great pickup for this team because he is a bigger back and kind of can fit the system and can add depth to that room that obviously we have a huge hole now in Abram Smith. But Zaquandre's got to be a good pickup.
Absolutely. He played for the Gamecocks, second leading rusher. I believe his redshirt senior season before declaring for the draft was picked up by the Dolphins, and to your point, then ended up with the Stallions. But here's a guy who he's played it probably in the best conference in college football, the SEC. Very talented. You add him into a room where we think we have three really good pieces now. It's going to be interesting to see between now and the final cut down time how many guys they go back there with in that running back room. But, they had 4. Abram got hurt. Now we're back to 4. So we'll see how Z can do when he gets into camp.
By the next episode, the cuts will had happened, right?
Yep.
So, and we'll be previewing next week with Defending Football, our other Defenders correspondent in the United Football Media. The guy with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. He's cool.
Yeah, we basically are going to have 3 different generations on here of Defender fans on here at the same time. So we'll be able to see where everyone is. You didn't expect that line, but
that was good. Thanks, Webb.
You ready to interview DeMarcus Hayes?
I'm ready. Let's interview DeMarcus and see how that offensive line's coming together.
New transition video. Ready, go. All right, we are back with our second interview ever on the DC Defender Show. Another Georgia Bulldog, as I said earlier on. We only get Bulldogs on here. Offensive tackle, DeMarcus Hayes. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Absolutely.
How's camp going so far?
Man, everything's been going good, man. A lot of exciting things. A lot of new players, new faces, but I mean, everybody's been showing why. I GM Vaughn, brought him in, man. He did a really good job this camp, man, bringing in new guys, loading the team up with a lot of talent. There's been a lot of competition on both sides of the ball, and man, it's been fun, man. Everybody flying around and balling out.
You're talking about both sides of the ball, and Greg Williams has his own podcast, and I'm not trying to get you in trouble here or anything like that. Is he like that in real life on the football field, where he's kind of that fiery guy and he's just ready to go and all that kind of stuff?
I would say he picks and chooses his moments. Like he kind of have a good on and off switch. I will say that he's not fired up all the time, but he definitely knows how to get the defense guys going. Man, it's been a lot of days we come out and it's like, man, why the defense they acting like that? And they're like, oh man, coach told us we didn't do this in practice yesterday and all that stuff. So now we got to come out here and they flying around, man, making plays all over the field. So I mean, hey, he's definitely a good on and off guy. So I will say that.
And practicing against a team with a pass rush like that on the offensive line, it's got to benefit you guys for that second season.
Oh man, definitely, man. It's been some good competition, good battles every day, in and out. I mean, on both sides of the ball, left and right, and we got a lot of pass rushes this year, man. And they're all different. They all have their own little, things that they have about their pass rush and all that stuff. So it's been challenging but good, in a good way, to prepare me for and the other guys for the season coming up, man. Because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be too many good pass rushers as good as the ones that we have on our team out there.
I completely agree. Who's the biggest trash talker on the defensive line? Who's the one that always trying to get into your head, man?
I really don't have nobody really just, trash talks me a lot.
Okay.
We do. I will say my guy Davin Bellamy though. He's a good he's a good talker, man. I will say that. D linemen, like they don't talk too much unless you kind of get them riled up. But I mean, if we got to start off the rip, my boy Bellamy, he gonna kick it off every time, man. But it's all in in the love of the game though. Get the competition going and get everybody fired up. So, but that's my guy though. That he bring that energy every time.
He came on. He was the first interview, and he said it was the mama mentality, and he just wants to mess with people's heads. So he's getting you ready for the other teams, really.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love it though, man. I love it every time, man. So I'm glad he came back and he bringing that juice back with him. So I mean, that's a good asset for the team for sure.
So you talk about year 2. How is it being comfortable in Coach Keis's system? Right, you really haven't had back-to-back seasons since college, right?
Yeah,
where you played in the same system. How does that benefit you in the offensive line?
I think it definitely be a lot coming back, and just being able to help like some of the guys that are coming in that they're not necessarily struggling, but they might not be picking it up as fast and maybe not understanding the coaching style and stuff like that. So I kind of help with with my experience last year, I can kind of help bridge the gap. Maybe if it is a communication gap between the new guys and the coaching staff and all that stuff. So I just try to, just help out where I can to make things easier on everybody, man, so we can all play good and look good on film, and everybody, just benefit the team. Because that's really what I try to do, is just benefit the team and on and off the.
All right. Alex, you got anything on the defenders before I'm going to take them down memory lane with the Bulldogs?
Yeah, let's do it. So last year with the defenders, really enjoyed watching you guys play. It was an exciting year. The offense kind of, had a couple of close games early. Got to see a little bit of the De'Aaron King package, and I was impressed with him. Kind of, different quarterback than JT. And then the offense seemed to get better as the year went on. Really, really special year. Not to sort of fast forward to the end, it didn't end like we wanted it to end. But for you guys returning, how special was it last year, winning that division championship? How do you feel about unfinished business coming into this new league to finish the job from last year in San Antonio?
From what I've seen so far, man, I think everybody's bought in to the kind of the revenge tour, and I feel like we got a team that's full of winners, and everybody, we come to practice every day, regardless of the conditions. We go out, we practice hard, we try to bring the energy every day, and you can ask for it, man, if you're looking for trying to win a championship. So, I think it's gonna be another special season, man. Especially with the talent that we have here and everything like that, it's gonna be another exciting run, man. And I can't wait, because it's kind of special to me too, because it just be a champion, and everybody loves to win, man. So I feel like that'll be my first championship, kind of winning and being like a big part of it. So I think it's gonna be good, man. I'm expecting to go back for sure.
Well, you're used to winning football. You went to Georgia. They don't lose very often down there. And then you come to D.C., and it was a tremendous year last year. And I think so. Abram Smith, obviously, it really stinks, him getting injured. We've talked about the running backs in depth on a couple of the other shows. I think we do have some good talent in that room. You see them every day, so you know better than we do. What's it like, though, to have, the leading rusher in the XFL? You were a big part of that last year, right? In terms of, you guys opening up holes for him. And, sometimes we could just, take over a game with the run game. Would you rather run block or pass block? Do you see yourself as a more of a fire out kind of guy, or you got to protect on that left tackle side too? So hopefully I'm not putting you on the spot here, but if you had to run block or pass block, what would you do?
Man, I like to. I love to run the ball, man, because it's like it's more dominant, if that makes sense. So the more you can dominate your opponent, the easier it makes the game for you. So the pass game would be easy if you dominate them in the run. So I would, if I had to choose, I would choose let's run the ball always. But I'm never against passing the ball either. So, but let's run the ball for sure.
Yeah, you know what? I bet you if you put one out and you asked 100 offensive linemen if they'd rather run block or pass pro, they're all going to say 99% of them would say, I want to run block, because you're kicking that guy up front. And it's like you said, it's interesting in a football game, when you can 4 yards, 5 yards, and you're just pounding them. And I'm sure you've played on the defensive side of the ball too and other levels. It's demoralizing when you can't stop them and they're hitting you 4 yards and 5 yards and keeping the ball away from you, and you're getting tired, you can't get off the field. It messes with this big time.
Definitely.
Let me ask you another question from a offensive lineman. I played before RPOs were the thing. We were adjusting routes during the, on the fly, run and shoot guy. I'll date myself here a little bit. And that was revolutionary. But I'm telling you, this RPO deal, I really like that. I think it makes, you isolate a guy, simple read, you see what he does. And if you read it right, he's always wrong. But I wonder, like, from an offensive lineman standpoint, it's got to be tough sometimes knowing, do I need to fire out and get down the field and run block? But, if he pulls it and he hits that slant, or he's, running the RPO, sort of help us understand, like, from a lineman standpoint, the challenges of playing in an RPO type of scheme.
I
I'd be
sometimes
downfield all the time. I'd be getting the legal man downfield all the time for getting down the linebacker, man. I'm just firing out trying to run block.
look, I was caught last year a couple times out there running the route myself. But it was it's sometimes it's frustrating because you think, okay, boom, and it has to be there. It was, I know the hole was wide open, and then
Right.
you see, either Brandon or last year Chris or Lucky down catching the ball downfield and scoring already. You like, man, this is crazy, but hey, we scored. So I mean, it's a bittersweet because it keeps the defense off balance, but it's also like I moved this guy and then had this nice double team and we throwing the ball like what? But hey, as long as the sticks are still moving, I mean, I can't do too much complaining.
Hey, if you ever get downfield to Marcus, just throw your hand up like you're open, just for the heck of it. See what happens.
Yeah, I told you, hey, man, next time you see me, bro, just throw me the ball, man. Just throw me the ball. We'll see what happens.
Just go back to the huddle and tell JT I was open on that when you missed me.
Definitely, man. He'll get a good kick out of that one too.
Yeah. It's fun to watch though, because I tell you what, you mentioned it with Jackson and Blair last year. A couple times, you run that thing, and you're right. You put the defense in a non-aggressive posture where they're kind of, defense. You put them uncomfortable, right? Put them in conflict, and then that's when you can take over. So you're right. With that threat there, you're probably taking away the threat of some of that hard, ears pinned back and getting after the quarterback type, like Greg Williams likes to do, right? Bring the heat. So it's good stuff. Offense was impressive last year. And I noticed it got better as the year went on. So hopefully you guys can hit the ground running in that first game against San Antonio, hang about 40 on them, and do that by halftime. We'll just chill out for the second half. Enjoy it.
Man, we definitely gonna try to, man, for sure. Definitely. I go sit down and give me a.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Webb.
So we're gonna go back to Georgia. What led you to end up at the University of Georgia? Obviously, it's a special place. So.
Oh man, honestly, I think it was. I can't really just off the top of my head, man. I mean, the when I went on my official visit, they just kind of made it feel like home, man. They welcomed me, open arms, and coming from high school, I wasn't really highly recruited or anything like that coming out of high school. So going from that, and then seeing the SEC lifestyle, it was like, dang, I could get used to this, So it was definitely a changing of worlds for sure. Put it that way, and it was kind of culture shocking, coming into a Kirby Smart system with just the scheduling every day, getting up, being here on time, getting to class, making sure you're doing your work, being in workouts, being in practice, being in meetings, and watching your weight. It really teaches you how to be a professional, and off the field. So it was probably I will say one of the best decisions I probably made in my life for sure. It changed a lot of things for me for sure.
And you want to talk about you love run blocking. They love to run the ball, especially the time you were there, man.
Look, I think that's kind of I said that too, honestly, because I mean that's you either had to know how to run block or you weren't gonna make it at all, because we were definitely gonna run off for sure, definitely.
So, like I said before, we had Bellamy on, and he said he loved playing in front of the Beer Snakes, right?
Yeah.
And Athens, and he actually said playing in DC was just unreal and actually a little bit better than Athens, which I live in South Georgia, so like Athens is like hollow ground.
Yeah, definitely.
You tell me, you give me a perspective that maybe Bellamy can't, of playing in DC and playing in Athens. Which one's better? Is there a better one, or is it they're both good in their own ways?
That's tough, man. I'm not gonna say which one's better, but I'm definitely gonna say they have their own thing about it. But it's definitely it's electric for sure. Like, as I mean, just the energy from, I don't know if it's the alcohol or what, but hey, man, I love the fans. I love the Georgia fans. But I definitely love the DC fans, man. Every home game has been live. from the lemons to the snake to man. I'm just this is definitely some stuff I've never experienced. So I'm gonna put them in their own separate category, and I'm gonna say Georgia's for a college state is the best college for sure. And I'm gonna just say the UFL, DC is definitely the best atmosphere out there. Period.
So we talk about college. Today the news dropped. You got a brand new teammate. Played at Carolina. What did you like playing in a place like Carolina where they're playing Sandstorm? And I know that they weren't as successful as you. No disrespect to Zaquandre, but what's it like playing on the road in the SEC, really? And those environments, not necessarily between the hedges, but you played in some pretty big games and pretty big environments. What was it like playing in front of those fans?
Man, it was definitely tough sometimes, man. A lot of times, you couldn't hear a lot, like, so it was. I'm not gonna say it's Georgia's like the only one that has the best fan base and all that stuff, man. It gets loud in the SEC, man. At any given Saturday, man. If you anywhere from Tennessee to South Carolina to Georgia, anywhere, man, it's live. You're gonna have some trouble hearing, and your ears might be ringing a little bit after the game, but it's fun though, man. It's fun. I love it.
Except Nashville. Nashville, you can hear anything, right? Making the trip to Nashville, it's kind of quiet there.
My teammates, I got a couple of those guys on the team.
Well, yeah, that's funny.
You're 100% right, because I grew up in Connecticut. Like college football, I moved down to Georgia, and like it's just different, man. It just a lot of parts of this country don't understand how different and how much of it's your religion. Like people ask you where you go to church and what college football team you like, and that's how they're going to judge you, like if they're going to like you or not right off the bat. So I definitely get you. But Alex, you got a question?
No, I was just going to say, my brother went to South Carolina, so Zaquandre, love to see the Gamecocks here. So, don't take it personal. Webb's ragging on the Gamecocks there. Same thing with Vanderbilt. We got a Vanderbilt listener that listens to the show every week. We love Vandy. I'm sure you loved playing against Vandy because it was kind of like a win for you guys. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to get you in trouble with your teammates there. But no, you're right about the SEC, though. I mean, everywhere. I mean, it's like a religion. It's year round, right? It's big time football. You mentioned something though that I thought was interesting, because we actually had a kid here at our local high school took this route too as a long snapper. He was one of the top long snappers in the country. Didn't get an offer, right? Even few and far between, even for a specialist like that. He took the JUCO route, and I believe you did the same at Gulf Coast. And as being a big fan of the Mississippi Junior College League and a big fan of Last Chance U and Buddy Stevens, East Mississippi. I think I may have actually seen East Mississippi film against you guys. Tell me a little bit about going through the junior college ranks. And then I'd like to also know your thoughts on playing in that league, how competitive it was, how much talent is in that Mississippi Junior College League.
Oh man, coming up through JUCO, man, it was definitely an experience, and it's not for the weak-hearted. I will say that. You definitely have to be there with your head on straight, with a plan. Because just like any college, it's distractions. Just by being a smaller atmosphere, the distractions can be a little, it can get you into some situations that you don't want to be in for sure. But it definitely, if you make the right decisions and you go in there, keep your head on straight, get your grades, and get on up out of there, man. It's definitely, if you're trying to make it to the next level and you really believe in yourself and feel like you can make it to the next level, definitely bet on yourself by taking the JUCO route. Being from Mississippi, JUCO isn't frowned upon. I know a lot of people. I've had a lot of high school teammates that went JUCO, did the same thing I did, even in the NFL. So it's definitely, if you don't have any offers that you want, come out of high school, man, I'd definitely say go JUCO. Reconstruct yourself a little bit, give yourself some time to grow as an athlete, as a person, some knowledge and everything like that, and just take it from there, man. But my JUCO experience was definitely it was changing. It matured me a whole lot, showed me how to work, got me in shape, and it built kind of confidence as a football player. Coming from a small town, high school, and stuff like that. So it was definitely it was good though. It was good. I can't complain. I would do it over again. I put it that way. I would definitely do it over again for sure.
It worked out pretty well. You're a professional football player. So I think it's
Man.
probably a pretty good decision, right? You know, when you look at it that way, to get a chance to go there and then to go at Georgia now to get paid to play, very few people can say that. And, you know, the nice thing about our kid from here, he went to Lackawanna and snapped for them for 2 years and ended up getting a Division I scholarship. He's snapping for Temple now. So, you know, it works out pretty good. You know, I think the situation that, you know, he needed that maturity too. But I've seen a lot of, you know, if you look, I mean, hell, Independence, like a couple of years ago, I don't know how it was at Gulf Coast, but they had like 40 some kids. It was some unbelievable number of players, like 40 kids to sign to either FBS or FCS scholarships. It was obscene how many of those kids. I mean, that talent level is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I would say my class was definitely it was pretty loaded. We had a good group of guys that signed and went and played D1 ball and did pretty well too. They did pretty good. So it's JUCO. JUCO is not. Hey, I'm a JUCO baby as we call it. So
That's it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, here's what I'll tell you. I'll leave you with this pleasant thought. I can't wait to watch you guys play in less than 2 weeks. We kick off. In less than 3 weeks, we'll be at Audi Field. I'm about 2 hours from you guys, and I plan to make it down for some games. I'm really excited. It was fun to watch you guys last year. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for this new league. I mean, you know, when I saw we know some of these guys that have signed from the USFL and gotten released, and we know how good they are as far as football players. The talent level in this league must just be unbelievable for guys like that to not make it. I think the quality of football's got to be through the roof. I'm excited about the future of spring football for sure. So I'm wishing you a healthy season, and I hope to get to see you when I'm down there in DC, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm excited about it, man. I'm really excited about it. Ready to get rolling for sure.
I got 2 questions for you, or 2 things. I read that you played high school basketball, right?
Yeah, I did a little bit.
I coached an AAU team in South Georgia. Give me your NBA player comp when you're in school.
You say, oh, my NBA player, what now?
Player comp. Yeah. Who did you play like? In the if I'm picturing you in high school playing basketball, who is the NBA player your game was modeled after?
Oh man. Dang, that's crazy that I really kind of never thought about it. I'm really I guess kind of say I was like a Shaquille O'Neal, but I just didn't score as much as Shaquille O'Neal. Put it that. But when it come to like bruise the team, the big like that was my duty. So we had a really good basketball team in high school. So I had a role of coming off the bench, big guy that couldn't have anybody to guard or anything like that. That was my job. I go in, I bang on them, get them tired, and then I get them out of the game and let the little guys run the floor all night. So that was, I guess you could a toned down Shaquille O'Neal. You put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Toned down Shaquille O'Neal. I got you.
Yeah.
So you were kind of like a 90s center, not the modern day like shooting threes, sitting in the corner center. You were kind of back to the basket, beat up the guy.
Yeah, and I could shoot a little bit, man, but that would have been outside of my role. I wasn't trying to. We had a lot of guys go. We had a couple guys go D1. We even had one guy play in the NBA for a little while. So
Wow,
we were pretty for a high school basketball team in little Mississippi, man, for sure.
So we always kind of end the show, the interviews, and we call it the end zone. The question is, I need the story of when you fell in love with the game of football and you're like, I am going to do this for the rest of my life.
Well, okay, so I'm from a small town in Mississippi called Waynesboro, Mississippi, and the biggest thing there is probably Walmart. So that's kind of give you like the area. So high school football is the biggest thing around there. Friday nights, everybody goes to going to the game. So when I was young. I don't know the name. I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Oh, yeah, Phil
Oh yeah,
Collins.
Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Ray Lewis's song.
Yeah, so I just remember like going to those games when I was young and hearing that song, and then this team will run out and like just getting these chill bumps all over. Like, I get them right now. Just even think about it. It's like I don't even really know how old I was, but I kind of knew then. I was like, yeah, I think I want to be a football player. This was before I even got big and knew how big I was going to be and all that stuff. So it was just like, yeah, I think football is going to be my sport. I definitely made that decision a long time ago. Kind of stuck with it ever since then.
It gets in your blood. It's funny because like I never played Division I ball. I never coached Division I ball. I did coach Division III ball and got to coach in the oldest small college rivalry in the South. The game had been played like 100. I think I played in the 100th or coached in the 100th anniversary game. But it's kind of cool because the two schools are separated by 65 miles. And the first year we went and played them at their place. And it was kind of cool because we walked out of our locker room, had to walk across this road and then through all of their fans. And they were cussing us and throwing stuff at us. And I'm thinking, hell, this must be what it's like to play Division I football. This is great. You know, this the intensity of it. But it does. It excites you. And it's like then you want more of it. And then after we beat there, you know what? You know, it's kind of fun coming off the field, you know, letting them know about it too. So it gets in your blood.
Yeah, man. It's been in me for a long time, man. Just trying to keep that fire lit, man, as long as I can.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for coming on. We wish, like Alex said, a healthy season, a successful season. We're rooting for you. You got fans for life here. Thank you for coming on, DeMarcus.
I appreciate y'all guys for having me. For real, thank you.
Go Defenders, go Dogs.
Yes, sir. Go Dogs. Yes, sir.
The tradition is when you're done with the interview, you got to say "Shields up" or something to DC fans or anything you want to do. That's how we end the interview. So go ahead.
I'm just gonna give them a good shields up. Let's go, man. I'm excited for the season. Let's get rolling.
All right, that was the DC Defender Show with DeMarcus. Thank you.